In 2003, the follow-up to The Mummy comes out. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz back at it again. So The Rock is the Scorpion King, a warrior who leads this big army trying to take over the world. They get defeated after a 7-year run and end up wandering around in the desert. Everyone is dead except The Rock. The Rock makes a deal with the dark god Anubis. He wishes to not die and to conquer his enemies, and in exchange he gives Anubis his soul. To seal the deal, he eats a scorpion. So now cut to later, and The Rock is the leader of Anubis's dark army. They take over everything, and when they're finished, Anubis makes The Rock serve him forever. The army returns to the sands from whence they came.
His army was returned to the sands from whence they came.
All this was a long time ago, by the way, if that's not clear. Modern day Brendan Fraser is exploring a temple and gets jump scared by his son, Alex. His wife, Rachel Weisz, her name's Evelyn, by the way, is doing archaeologist stuff. They're a family of archaeologists. There's an abundance of scorpions in this temple. Rachel Weisz seems to know the temple a little too well. Bad guys come into the room that Alex is in. Alex hides. You can tell they're bad guys because they're English.
Knock. Anybody home?
So Evelyn starts seeing visions of stuff in the temple, but from ancient times. She knows how to open a door somehow. Bad guys are looking for expensive artifacts, I guess. Alex does a Home Alone.
Look at the state of this rubbish. These Egyptians never had a clue. Look at that state. There's all chips and stuff.
Evelyn and Rick open a chest. Alex ends up doing too many Home Alones. The bracelet is booby-trapped. The burglars are closing in on Kevin, but they just run away because the temple is flooding. Situation is getting pretty bad.
What's bad, Amy?
A pillar smashes a wall and it saves Rick and Evelyn.
Mom, Dad, I can explain everything.
There's a big nighttime There's a big archaeology dig site conducted exclusively by bad guys. Millions of scorpions come out of the ground. You can tell they're bad guys from the music. The English bad guys and the other bad guys stand off. Turns out they need the bracelet to resurrect The Rock, and it's in London now. How do they know it's in London now? I don't know. We get some exposition from Rick and Evelyn back in London, so everyone's up to speed on what's going on.
I think the bracelet is some sort of guide to the lost oasis of Amshir.
Supposedly it's the resting place of Anubis' army.
And let me guess, it was commanded by the Scorpion King guy?
Yes, but he only awakens once every 5,000 years.
And if someone doesn't kill him, then he's gonna wipe out the world.
How did you know?
The bad guys turn up at their London stately home that they live in. They got to London really fast. Alex is messing around with the bracelet when it attaches itself to his wrist. Alex sometimes has this odd way of talking.
You asking me? I'm only 8 years old, for Christ's sake! Cripes, how'd you get spin off? What do I do with this chest? Sucker was a goddamn time. You betcha.
Maybe we should go back and watch The Mummy and find out why he talks like that. I can't remember any of that movie. Anyway, John Hannah, Johnny, apparently sneaks into the house sometimes. The bad guys start asking him about the bracelet of Anubis. He doesn't know anything about it. Rick comes in and saves the day. Evelyn defends the chest from more goons. Then this guy turns up.
I'm a gigolo.
His name is Ardeth. The main goon is called Lochnar.
Ardeth Bey.
Lochnar?
Rick fights the upstairs goons. They do this thing in this movie where they keep throwing an A and a B story at you and cutting between two. I feel like it's a bit much sometimes. Like there'll be two storylines going on at the same time that we'll jump between, and it'll get faster and faster until the two converge, which is fine, but I feel like I can't not notice it in this. I'm very aware of it, but maybe that's just me. Watching this is making me want to play Uncharted. Maybe we can do that later. There's an abridged version coming to PC called Legacy of Thieves. Should I buy a PS5 just for Uncharted? There's enough stuff on my desk as it is. So anyway, the fighting continues. That crazy cat Johnny is hiding in a bubble bath. Johnny is Rick's brother-in-law, by the way. Rick and Johnny jump out of the window. Uh-oh, they've got Evelyn. Alex and Ardeth are okay though. I forgot to mention this snake woman. She was at the archaeology site and she was interrogating Johnny with a snake. Also, Ardeth was at the archaeology site. We get a bit of exposition from the gang.
Wherever this man is, your wife will surely be.
Hey, I know him. He's the curator. He works at the British Museum.
The woman who is with him, she knows things that no living person could possibly know. She knew exactly where the creature was buried.
By putting this on, you have started a chain reaction that could bring about the next apocalypse.
Ardeth says that wherever this guy is where his wife will probably be too.
The bracelet is on his wrist. We have only 7 days before the Scorpion King awakens. If he is not killed, he will raise the army of Anubis.
I take it that's not a good thing.
Oh, he'll wipe out the world.
Whomever can kill the Scorpion King can use it to destroy mankind and rule the earth. That is their plan.
They've driven to the British Museum, and Alex and Johnny stay in the car while Rick and Ardeth gun it up. The goons are doing a ritual with Evelyn to resurrect Imhotep. Rick and Ardeth are sneaking around in the museum when loads of mummies start coming out of stuff. Imhotep hatches.
Imhotep.
The guy talks to Imhotep.
You're a parcel mouth. Why didn't you tell us?
Alex and Johnny are still outside. Alex is telling Johnny a scary ghost story.
Travelers, beckoning them to their deaths.
Rick and Ardeth save Evelyn. Alex and Johnny get spooked by the commotion and want to hide in the car. Everyone's shooting at each other. That crazy cat Johnny's only gone and broken the key off in the ignition. Oh no, these guys at it again. Are these guys in the first film? I don't know. Johnny and Alex try to come up with a plan. Alex and Evelyn come out and you're thinking, oh no, how are they going to get away without a car? The bad guys break through the walls and chase after the bus. Rick says he hates mummies. Rick is shooting at the bad guys and they're parkouring all over the place, running on the walls and stuff. The bad guys are on the roof. A bad guy is actually in the bus now and fighting Ardeth. Rick is loading his shotgun in this cool way, holding the shells in his mouth. Rick drops the shotgun. The bad guy hurts Ardeth's arm. The shotgun actually falls out of the bus. The bad guy hurts Ardeth's chest. Evelyn saves Ardeth. There's a low bridge. Everything's looking up for the gang. We made it. So yeah, that was an action-packed 6.5 minutes. If I was a young man and still had feelings and stuff, I'd probably be pretty hyped right now. I'm pretty into this. I like the gang. There's no one I don't like in this bus. Johnny and Alex have this cute little friendship. So do Rick and Ardeth. Evelyn's back in the mix. We're not even halfway through. This movie's 2 hours long, by the way, and we still have to watch The Scorpion King. Alex gets taken, Rick chases after the car, but the bridge goes up and he tries to jump it, but he's nowhere near as fast as the car, so it's no good. The snake woman is looking at London. Her name is Mila, by the way. She's looking out at the city, and then her, Imhotep, and the museum curator have a conversation in ancient Egyptian. It's olden times again, and they're making out, but then it's actually just in her mind, and she's making out with this guy's rotting face. Gross. Ardeth explains how that bracelet thing that Alex is wearing works, and Rick says, "Seems to me we need a magic carpet." And you just have to think about what that means, but there's no time because we're in Cairo and Alex is on a train. English bad guys are also on the train. They stole the chest from the museum. They renegotiate their payment for the chest.
The agreement was for 5.
Yeah, but we want 10. Well, we'll take it elsewhere.
Alex meets Imhotep. He explains to Alex that he has 7 days from when he puts on the bracelet before the rock wakes up. And if he doesn't enter the pyramid before then, the bracelet will suck the life out of him. But he explains all of this in a really dramatic way. The English bad guys get locked in a cursed room by Mila.
You ain't happy without a good curse. This is cursed. That is cursed.
And then Imhotep absorbs them, and then he looks like a regular guy again. And they never get their 10 grand. The gang meet this guy, who was, I guess, in the first Mummy film.
Definitely remembers you.
He's a little shy.
Ardeth is with these guys. One of them has a hawk. They ride away, and there's hopeful music. And I'm guessing these guys are going to turn up at some point and save the day. Izzy has a dirigible. Ardeth is still holding the hawk. They all go in the dirigible. So what's the deal with this pyramid that we heard about before that Alex has to go into? Maybe it's the pyramid that Mila was kissing Imhotep in. But wasn't there a pyramid in that story that Alex told Johnny when they're in the car outside the museum? Is that where we're going now? Seems like everything's kind of coming together now. Alex is being annoying and really starting to get Lochna's panties in an uproar. He asks to go to the toilet and then somehow is able to rip the toilet out of the floor with his bare hands and escape. But it turns out that they were just at the pyramid anyway, and he just runs into the pyramid. Ardeth tells Rick that he's some kind of Keanu Reeves chosen one. Evelyn remembers stuff from a long time ago, and now it's like Mila and Evelyn are both like 5,000 years old, or we're in ancient Egypt in a past life or something. Evelyn has a vision of fighting Mila, and then Mila and Imhotep kill this guy, who is a pharaoh, I guess. Anyway, she jumps out of the dirigible. The gang explains what's going on.
No, they're memories from my previous life.
That's the reason why we found the bracelet.
Exactly. I was its protector.
Clearly, you were destined to protect this woman.
Right. She's a reincarnated princess, and I'm a warrior for God.
And your son leads the way to Hamsher. 3 sides of the pyramid. This was all preordained thousands of years ago.
Alex asks Lochnar for a glass of water and makes wet sand. Rick and the gang get to the pyramid and find the sandcastle that Alex made.
It's the Temple Island of Philae.
I guess that's what he was doing with the wet sand. Evelyn says that it's the Temple Island of Philae and that's where he is, like it was a secret message. And lo and behold, it looks just like it. Alex has made another sand message and Ardeth sends a hawk message of his own to those horse guys from before, but now there's like a million of them. Alex gets caught making a sand message by Lochnar, and then Imhotep makes a giant wave that chases after the gang and it's really close behind the dirigible, but then they get away just in time. And then they're just at the place they were going to go to anyway, Amshire. But then oh no, the wave is back and this time it actually gets them. The dirigible is a write-off, so now they're on foot in the jungle. Ardeth's hawk gets shot. He's called Horace, by the way. That's the first sad death of the film, and I'm actually kind of gutted about that. So now Alex and the bad guys are in generally the same area as the gang. The bad guys are taking Alex through the jungle, and they find this little mummy thing. A gunfight breaks out and gets the attention of the gang. Lochnar really wants to kill Alex, by the way. He keeps talking about it. In the chaos, he goes to kill Alex. Rick and Ardeth arrive just in time to save him. Ardeth fights Lochnar and it's pretty intense. Ardeth wins, and then they do that thing where you think the bad guy shoots him, but the gunshot actually came from a different gun. It's Johnny's rifle. Johnny's like a lovable coward, so I guess that suits his character to have a rifle. But then Evelyn also has a rifle, and she's like brave and clever. I guess the rifle is a weapon for the clever as well as the fearful. She's using it in a brave way. Rick and Ardeth are running through the jungle shooting everyone and not getting shot at all. The gang are all together now, and Alex explains about how he'll die if he doesn't get to the pyramid today, and Evelyn's like, oh my god. The curator makes these 2 bad guys sacrifice themselves.
The 2 of you must sacrifice yourselves. You shall be rewarded in heaven!
Johnny and this bad guy are both running in the same direction, and then they're kind of like friends now. I guess they're both like, oh, who cares at this point. I wanted to find out who this bad guy was because, I don't know, he seems like a cool guy. And I thought maybe I recognized him from something, so naturally I checked the Mummy Returns IMDb, where I find this guy. Paul Sachs, with the uncredited role, Red Turban God. Okay, fits the description. Title logo design on Rogue Trooper, The Quartz Massacre. Stand-in for Joaquin Cosio on Quantum of Solace. Set production assistant on Troy, okay. Jack of all trades, seems like a cool guy. But is this our guy? IMDb has over 200 routers, I'll never find him in time. I notice he has a speaking role in Gladiator. He's the catapult commander, and he says, loose. Okay, let's see if this is our guy. Enhance. Okay, back to IMDb. Another Red Turban God, Jake Lanning. Nope, that's not him. Then I check this guy, Shafek, and sure enough, that's our man, Quill Roberts. That's a cool name. And his show reel is on YouTube, nice. The mummy clip is actually where we are in the video. I was kind of interested in this channel. It's from 2011. It's called reactionshowreels.com. So this guy makes show reels, I guess. And I guess these are the headshots of actors that have used his services. Maybe he took these. People seem to love his show reels. Maybe I could get into the show reel game. If anyone wants a show reel, I'll do it. Anyway, let's keep watching The Mummy Returns. So Shafek dies, Rick blows up this tree, Alex seems to be getting weak from the bracelet, so Dad carries him. They're literally getting chased by the sunrise, and just make it in time. The bracelet releases Alex. Man, first the hawk and now this, too sad. No way, she can't be dead. The curator gets the bracelet. I'm predicting he's gonna die in a horrible way, like the Nazi in Last Crusade. Not necessarily his face will melt, but something bad. I think because he snaked those 2 guards earlier. You know in movies when a bad guy does something cowardly and then they kind of die in a gruesome way? It's like they get the death they deserve. Like when Burke in Aliens gets killed. So Burke runs away from a room full of aliens, locking the door behind him and trapping Ripley and the soldiers. They're all mad at him anyway for being a snake earlier, so he's trying to hide from them as well as the aliens. But then he unknowingly traps himself in a room that has an alien in it. So then I found out there's actually a deleted scene where Burke is cocooned and Ripley finds him and gives him a hand grenade. Go and watch the movie though, because it's really good. Anyway, Imhotep and Mila are in the pyramid doing a ritual, and the gang are with Evelyn. The curator is wearing the bracelet and he's in this inner sanctum area. He puts his hand into this statue and this happens. There's only 20 minutes left, where's the rock? Johnny is consoling Alex and Alex figures something out. The curator's hands gets degloved. Is that the right word? Don't ever Google degloved, by the way. I promise you don't want to do that. Anubis's dark army from the beginning comes out of the sand. Johnny fights Mila, Imhotep finds a gong, Rick and Imhotep fight, Ardeth and his army fight the Dark Army. Johnny isn't doing too bad against Mila. Alex has the spell book and he's doing a spell on Evelyn. I guess he carried her into the temple by himself. This is a really strong kid. A wolfman throws an axe at Ardeth and he just dodges out of the way. Alex completes the spell, Evelyn is back from the dead and takes over fighting Mila.
Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?
Then the rock is a giant scorpion and he looks like this. The curator is also in the room with Scorpion Rock. Is this going to be his death? Yeah, he gets ripped apart. Nice. Ardeth and the boys are killing loads of the wolfmen, and when they die, they turn into sand. They kill all of them, but then, hold on, actually there's loads more. Rick tells Johnny that the stick thing that he's been holding through the movie is actually a spear. Ardeth leads the army into certain death. It's like a death or glory moment. Johnny goes to throw the spear, and you just know because it's Johnny, he's gonna miss or like maybe hit Rick or something. Imhotep catches it and throws it at the rock, and it's flying in slow motion through fire right at him. But then Rick catches it. Ardeth is looking very tense, and he's usually super chill. Rick stabs the rock with the spear, and holding onto the spear is keeping him from falling into lava. Demons? Lava? I don't know. Imhotep hates this because if you remember, he has to kill the rock. Killing the rock returns Anubis's dark army to the sands from whence they came. Rick and Imhotep are both dangling off the ledge. It is demons, not lava. Evie runs across the room to save Rick, and it's really brave. Imhotep wants Mila to help too, but she doesn't love him enough. He's so sad that he just lets go. So now I'm thinking, well, is Mila also going to get a cowardly death? She immediately falls into like a million scorpions. The temple is in the middle of some kind of hell vortex and slowly sinking, and it looks pretty grim, but then they get rescued by Izzy. And then Johnny's dangling from the dirigible, and he grabs this massive jewel that's on top of the pyramid. Ardeth says farewell to the gang, and then Johnny and Izzy argue about who gets the jewel while Rick and Evie kiss, and that's the end of the movie. And that's a nice ending. I wish the hawk came back though, that would have been nice. There's nothing at the end of the credits, I checked. So yeah, I give this movie 6.5 Angela's father's necklaces. Really though, that was actually really good. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Stay tuned for part 2. I might do a quick episode of The Net or something in between doing more Dwayne Johnson. I haven't decided. I might just take a break and do Kevin James instead. Exciting stuff.